Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be commentating over a match I played once again at the UK Pro League, playing against Matt Doe. This was my last match of the event, and so I really wanted to get a win on the board here, and I'm commentating this after I've come back from Moratoglu Tennis Academy. I was there for 1 week, so I'm going to be using some of the insights, little tips that I learned just to help me commentate over and to help me, talk through what I've learned after this match and how I've, managed to change some of the things that, I didn't do so well in this match, and how I have worked on some of the stuff that I also did well in this match, and kind of talk you through my process over the last weeks, as this was, filmed quite a few weeks ago when I was playing this Pro League event. So as you can see here, starting off, not too well, 40 love down. I think this was possibly one of the worst starts of the event. But something I found as well playing this tournament was that they have new balls, obviously at the beginning of the match and after 11 games. And something you don't really practice that much, or I don't practice that much in the UK, is playing with new balls. Now, when I went to Moratoglu, every single session was being played with new balls. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm telling you this. Well, there's obviously a big difference on an indoor court when the balls are new and fast, and the way that you have to play is totally different. You have to use more racket head speed, you have to be then more confident in your shots. You have to use your serve a bit more, maybe volley, come to the net like this, because the ball's going to fly through the air. You're not going to be having those long rallies from the baseline, out-grinding your opponent. And I think this kind of game style is something that I need to work on definitely, because when you play with a lot of kind of older balls for multiple training sessions, you get used to hitting a flat ball essentially. And I think that's something definitely looking forward to the future. It's actually something you need to practice, is playing with new balls. I know it sounds slightly funny when you say it like this, but it really does make a difference. So now it's 1-1 in the first set. My aim here is just to stick with them, keep it on serve, as it should be in most matches, and obviously look to find a break early on. Now, when I'm watching myself back here, I'm seeing that I'm standing in a quite defensive position, and I think that this was forcing me to hit a few balls slightly shorter than I would want in the court, and allowing him to be more aggressive than I'd like him to be. So they're dropping the return short, and this is something again in Moratoglu that I really worked on with one of the coaches, was on the return feeling confident. Now, he said to me, look, you can either get the ball back into the court, like this one, here's a perfect example, but you're making the return, making him play an extra shot, but it's not exactly a hard shot, and he's most likely going to win the point anyway. So you're much better off trying to really go for the return, pick a big target, let's say down the middle or cross court or down the line, depending on the serve that he's hit, and really try and hit it. Then if it goes in, then you're going to be doing much more damage with your serve, and if it goes out, then you're going to have the same outcome as if you would have just bunted the ball back into the middle of the court. And so obviously the more you practice this as well, the better the serves of your opponent, the better your returns will get, and the more return games you will win. Because even though you're making a lot of returns, or I'm making a lot of returns in this game into the court, I'm losing a lot of the points just because the quality of the return isn't good enough. And with any of these things, I think I'm going to carry on working to do this in matches and implement it into matches, because essentially practice does make perfect, or practice makes the shot better. I don't want to say perfect, but it really helps you to play the shot better under pressure. And here, starting off at a 2-1 down, making quite a few unforced errors. I'm looking at this back now. I'm not playing with too much depth. I'm not playing with too much conviction. The way that I'm playing, like here, looking to come to the net, is a much better example of the way that I would want to play now, or that I should be playing, especially in a match like this. Again, on that ball, something I noticed watching it back now, I'm waiting quite a long time for the ball to kind of drop. I'm using something I learnt in my week of training. If you have a short ball, you can do one of two things. You can either step up really quickly, take the time away and be aggressive to either spot, or you can see where your opponent's standing and play it to the other corner. But you don't want to do what I did, where I wait and then play to the opponent, basically, because then you're either going to take time away, or you're going to put the ball in a difficult position for your opponent. So now's the first juice. I go up an advantage, play a solid kick serve to his backhand and force the error. and it's starting at 2-2. Now the nerves have slightly gone away now. You know, there's always a first few games where you're slightly, you know, thinking about trying to just hold your service games and get into the match, find a bit of a rhythm. I think that stage is over now, and like there, playing a bit more of an aggressive return, and look, I'm straight away at the net and gonna hopefully win this point. Oh, it's gone in. Yeah, not winning that point, I should have won that one. But again there, a better return meant that I had a bigger chance of winning the point. And again, dropping the ball extremely short on the return there by good defense on the backhand side. They're using the width of the court. The width of the court is an extremely important tool in all tennis matches. I think it's underrated because a lot of players will play, or I play in this match, with a lot of depth through the middle, with moving my opponent side to side. But actually, if you play a few angles, switch up the pace, the spins, that's actually what's going to make your opponent uncomfortable, especially at the high levels of tennis. And this is what the pro guys are doing extremely well, almost unconsciously without realizing. And again, this is something I want to add to the toolbox of my game, so to speak, so that I'm able to, play the angles confidently, change the spins, and push my opponent back behind the baseline, but also outside the court, so that I have easier balls to then be aggressive off. It's 3-2 now. Again, now on serve, so wanting to make sure that I'm, staying super consistent. And well, when I say consistent, I mean consistent in my service games, not giving him any free points, using my serve to be effective, and trying to make as many first serves as possible. I think sometimes when I was playing this match, I was rushing slightly, and I think something now I've worked on a bit on my serve is just playing at my own rhythm and making sure that I'm fully in control of where I'm serving, thinking about where I'm serving before I serve, and making sure that I'm fully confident. I think a lot of times you could easily step up to the line and think, okay, where am I serving? And then you're almost making the decision as you're throwing the ball up, which is way too late. And it sounds crazy, but I think we all do it kind of sometimes. But what really helps me is if I say to myself, okay, I'm going to pick a side before I serve this point, and then 9 times out of 10 I'll hit a better and a more quality and more accurate serve. This is a solid point here, moving my opponent around. And he's doing a great job of being aggressive, and that's a really solid backhand. But again, didn't put enough width on that ball to do the damage. Again here, good serve out wide. Stuck in no man's land slightly. Didn't give myself many options. Again, like I said, that I waited and then tried to go to the guy. So instead, I should either come to the net there, take it early, or I can wait and then I can try and put aggressive ball into the other corner. Getting caught slightly off balance there, not playing a good enough smash and letting him in with an opportunity at 2 break points here already in this opening set. Not where you want to be. I choose again to go to his forehand, getting a free error, and now I have to just save one more. I go serve again to his forehand, looking for the same mistake. He doesn't give it to me, but looking to dominate with my forehand. Again, they're going to his forehand. He plays a solid ball with depth, and I'm just trying to move him about here, trying to get an opportunity to come in. I'm just not doing enough damage with my forehand. I can see myself, I'm playing the balls with good positioning, but on my forehand, I'm just not ripping it as much as I'd like. Again, forcing the error eventually. But something I was working on as well in the last week was really driving with the legs, driving forwards, really putting some spin on the ball. And we saw that when I played Luke Johnson in the previous video. You can go check that out on the channel. Is like he hit an unbelievable forehand with an unbelievable level of spin, and that makes it so uncomfortable because the balls bounce so high up in an uncomfortable position to your shoulder. And that is a perfect example right there from me, is not enough racket head speed on the ball, not enough confidence in my shot to be able to roll the ball into the court, And this was something definitely, I need to work on, practice on clay slightly more, is driving with the legs, having confidence. Even if I miss, it's going to be so much more beneficial because my opponent's going to win so many less points by him having to do very little, me dropping the ball short, and him kind of just being aggressive. Anyway, 4-2 now. I'm looking to get a break back on the board because that's super important, playing a good passing shot there. I think, yes, it was in, so 30-15 now. I've got a second serve. Now my mindset right now would be to be aggressive, but he misses the serve and gives me 2 break point opportunities. So let's see how I can capitalize. I can't quite remember exactly what happened. Play a good return with solid depth down the middle. Good defense on the forehand. Could have been a bit deeper and get the break. and I get the break back, and it goes 4-3, you know, in this opening set. And that's a good sign of mental strength there, just being able to come back after a break down, and, you know, get the break back straight away. Let's see what happens now. He just chips the return in. Again, not doing enough damage with that forehand, choosing to go backhand down the line, leaving the space open. Weird chip through the middle of the court. Now I'm under pressure with the slice, go down to his feet. That's a solid volley. Not much more I could do there. Maybe slightly earlier on the point, but he finished the point extremely well. Solid serve to his backhand, pushes me back deep, give him the short ball. Now he's in at the net again, approaching to my backhand, and gets a bit lucky with the net cord. He's had two lucky well, not lucky, but one skilled and one lucky approach to the net, but both times he's approached to my backhand, which is something quite interesting. Let's see what happens in these next points. Going deep with spin to his backhand side. I'd like to see myself maybe come in there, but he does eventually force the error. I mean, against better opponents, that's maybe going to be a point that I would lose, just because I'm not being confident enough in my shots. And that's the cheap error again, just not putting enough racket head speed on the ball and enough height and margins, causing me to miss there. And going deep, and that's a cheap game. Looking at that back, that's very weak mentally. And having, you know, 3 breaks in a row now, you can definitely see the matches, you know, the rhythm is all over the place. So it's now going to be about who can maintain the rhythm for the longest time, and who can find a few points, or 5, 6, 7 points in a row where they're playing some good level tennis and, you know, finding their rhythm again. So he's now stepping in on the forehand, and that's a weak backhand through the middle of the court, not putting enough width on the ball. It's a solid forehand, getting myself back into the rally. This is a quality point here, moving both of our opponents from side to side, going inside out. Again, like to see myself come into the net and be slightly more aggressive. And there's the change of pace shot. I don't think I did it intentionally here, but there you can see I've go depth, and with width and margins. And then one ball I drop short to the middle. He's forced to play a different type of shot and misses the ball. But either way, it's 15-all now. I give him another, you know, easy error. These are definitely the things in my game that I'd like to iron out over this year, you know, gap year where I have a year just to focus fully on my tennis. You know, it's great watching footage back to see exactly where you need to be and what you're doing in these matches, especially when you're losing. I think that's the most beneficial, because then you can see exactly, you know, what you need to work on tactically for the next matches, so that you can prevent situations or matches where you lose from happening again. So he gives me 2 break points here off a double fault, and it's now break point again. So this would be for 4 breaks in a row. So we see how he responds. Good serve to my backhand side again. Good enough return, but he's put a solid backhand down the line and putting away a very, very tight angled smash, leaving me with 1 more break point. Again, serve to my backhand side, not doing enough with that return, and he kind of plays a weird chip shot, chopper grip kind of chip shot there, which was slightly surprising. But anyway, he's got it back to juice now. Goes big serve down the seat to my backhand once more. I drop a short return, the backhand down the line, and leaving myself out of position there. I don't know if I you know, did that intentionally, but I played the backhand down the line, which leaves a space on my forehand open, and I wasn't quick enough then to run across and hit the forehand cross, which is surprising, because usually I am, you know, quite quick at the movement, and that's usually where I'm there. But I've made 2 errors now on that running forehand side, which gives him the opening set. As we take a look at the first set summary, you know, a lot of first serve, 75 to 80% for both of us. It just came down to who had the most momentum for the longest time, and I crumbled first. I'm not starting the set off very well with a double fault there. I have to find some sort of good serving rhythm. I'll take more serves like that. Definitely from this match so far would be more aggressive in terms of coming to the net, and more aggressive in terms of you know, playing more spin, changing up the pace. And all of these things just come through practice, essentially. So there's nothing, you know, tactically different that, well, there are things tactically different that I would have done if I would play this match again. But the other things that I need to work on mainly are things that I need to improve through practice. And that ball's just landed on the line. That was a quality lob. And it's now 15-30 in this first game. And this is definitely where you don't want to be broken. Because, you know, this would be then like 3 breaks in a row on my serve. That, you know, really takes a pounding to your confidence. And again, approaching to his forehand, not a great approach, but a great volley. And him making that ball and me trying to go for the lob, and it is a good lob. That's a solid point, and I think that was a good example of, you know, having to play such a good volley for a not a very good approach shot. That's a position you have to leave yourself in, because if the volley wasn't that good, then I would have lost that point for sure. Gone to his forehand. He loves to chip that forehand, which is giving me a few forehands like this. Coming into the net once again. It's a pretty weak drive volley, but the ball does go wide. And now it is 1-love up in this first set. So let's see how he can respond now. It's the first hold of serve in a while from me in the one of 3 games. So that's giving me a bit of confidence again to start this opening set. It's always nice to be, you know, leading the scoring as the server. And again, that's a very weak volley. I can see, you know, just by my body language, I'm just not looking, you know, on it, and I'm not looking, you know, in the game essentially. And I think that's also something I need to work on. Is just making sure I have a bit more of a commanding presence. It's only the beginning of the second set, and I'm missing volleys like that. You just need to be a bit sharper. 30-15 now. Missing the serve. Second serve now. Goes through the body. Go inside out onto the tee. He plays a great approach shot down the line. He's in at the net. Hasn't actually come to the net that many times, but he has a good overhead. And he's back at the back, and then there's the change in pace. The smash down to a slow forehand down the line, and then a quick backhand to his backhand. Once again, proving why change of pace is so important. He goes serve to he's got a good body serve. I think 2 or 3 times now the ball's come into my body. I've kind of moved around in a strange way, or I wasn't able to get out of the way. And he's set himself up here to go 1-all in the second set. Putting in a solid return. Just looking slightly, I don't want to say off balance, but I look slightly like I'm not in the right position sometimes. And he does force the error, so I mean, this is an opponent that is going to make mistakes if you know, play the right types of shots. It's just whether I can tactically adapt quick enough in the match to be able to do some damage to him. He's played a solid volley there onto the line. It looked extremely close. I think the umpire said that it was in. It's now advantage him. He goes with his first serve into the net, and the second serve, I reckon he's going to kick it out wide. Can't remember. He goes back to the body to the forehand side, which is surprising. Now he's on the defense, just rallying cross court to cross court, opens the space. Not enough width on that forehand, but it forces the error. It was good enough in this situation. And it's now juiced. This game's been going on for a while. This could be a real momentum shifter. These games, you know, they go on for a while, really dictate the match, and it could be, if I can get the break here, we go 3-love up in this set. That's a solid backhand, and again coming into the net and him playing it wide. It's a good approach shot. Well, that's one of the first times I think I really was tactically aware of coming into the net there. Made a good decision. Now first break point, I believe. Again coming into the forehand, being aggressive on the return, which is exactly what we like to see. And he plays it exactly on the line. I almost thought that was going out, so I didn't properly play it, and he puts away the smash. That is frustrating, because I think I almost stopped playing, you know, when you think the ball's going to fly miles wide or go out, and then it actually just lands on the line. It's a slightly strange one, and that is just an extremely poor shot from me. I'm not sure what I'm doing there. Yeah, there are no words to explain what that was. I think I tried to, you know, delicate shot cross court, but didn't have the skills on that one. Anyway, juice now. Again. So he's letting me into this game. You know, from a outside perspective, it looks like he's giving me the chances. It's just whether I can capitalize on these chances and take them. I've approached here. He's come serve and volley, which is a bit of a switch up, and I'm really struggling on these passing shots at the moment. On the forehand, the running forehand and backhand, I'm just putting them all in the net. I need to be making him play the difficult volleys, because we've seen him to miss, and that's a great depth ball coming into the net. That's a solid point. And again, can I put away the smash? I can. So I'm sticking in this game. I'm staying with him. Again now, juice. I reckon he's going to go probably at the body. He does. Again, putting it cross court, making him play the volley. That's a solid get from him. And watching this back is painful, because that has to go over. Again, serve to the backhand, putting it way too short, and he plays a winner. I think I ended up giving him that one, because it did look, I think I pulled it out originally, but it was in. It was one of those ones, again, where it looks like it's going wide and lands on the line. Anyway, there, 15-love to me. This is again a service game I want to have, and I've just put myself out of position. My backhand line wasn't good enough. He ends up approaching, and he plays a solid volley there. To be fair, he's had a good player has good hands, so he's capitalizing on a lot of the net points. My passing shots aren't the best today, or in the day this game was played, from what we can see. So again here, 30-15, another serve and volley situation. Good composure on that first shot, but he does manage to lob me, and I've put it wide. So I mean, just not having that extra little bit to finish the points. It looks like just slightly slow, slightly, you know, not 100% with it, and then throwing in the double fault. That is a weak mental point there. You don't want to be double faulting at 30 all. Anyway, Juice. Go serve down to the backhand. Go with the second serve. Where am I going to go here? Go kick, add the body, go to his forehand and get an error deep. Exactly what we wanted. Now, I'd like to see myself do a few more kick serves. Go again to the forehand. He loves to slice that short. Pushes the ball deep. Can I put away in the smash? Oh, I leave it. I'm back in the point, so to speak. There we go, I'll push the ball deep. What I was going to say was, I'd like to see myself hit a few more kick serves to his backhand. There, I think that serve was out. We'll have to you can slow the video down and tell me if it was out in the comments down below. I thought it was out, so I kind of stopped playing almost. And there, he plays the ball. No, I play the ball long, and it is a break. And set in 2-1. This is not really the situation we want to be in. And he ends up holding his service game. So we're going to show and join the action back at 3-1 to him in the second set. It's just now about mentally, how can I pull myself together? How can I find a way of making him play these shots and making him make mistakes like that? You see the little fist pump. I'm trying to get myself, you know, a bit fired up. Trying to get myself in the right mental state. But I was having one of those days where nothing was really working. You have that feeling, you know, nothing's really working against a certain opponent, and you have to find a way of, you know, making it work in one of these days. I think this is something that the top players have that ability to do. It's like Djokovic, you'll never see him have like a bad day. So maybe like once every year. But something, you know, when they're having their bad days, they have these mechanisms to try and find a way of making it work. I think something I've been working on my serve is when I'm not serving too well, is like I said, picking a spot quite early on in advance, being nice and relaxed, breathing on my serve. And those are some things that, you know, help calm me down. I think it's important to think about these things when you're playing matches, is how am I able to play a high enough level of tennis to play it at it, well, to play a high enough level of tennis to win matches consistently. But we find myself break point down here again, and I'm throwing the fist pump, just keeping myself in it, keeping myself mentally aware. And again here, one more break point. If it goes 4-1 down, it's pretty much over. But he misses the backhand return and gives me a lifeline here in the second set. Goes solid serve out wide. Again, he's given me 3 points in a row now on the return. Missing the return, so he's let me back into this one. Let me back into this game, and this could possibly give me a chance in this set. It's only one break. And, you know, we saw in the first set there were 3 or 4 in a row, so we saw how quickly, you know, we can break each other. And that's a good forehand there, good movement off the ball, good spin on the backhand, and him forcing the error. And it's 3-2 now, finding a way of getting back into this set. But we're going to rejoin the action again at 4-2, because he did end up holding his service game and, you know, putting the pressure back on me straight away. And again, like I said, the serve is one of the most important things in tennis, but so is the return. And, you know, he's making me play on my return games, and I wasn't being clinical enough, like, to put away the short balls like this one to really win my service games with conviction and win them comfortably to love. And this is kind of exactly more of what I had to do, is just play the volleys like this. But when I'm playing them and he's almost getting there on 2 volleys, it kind of shows you that that's part of my game I need to kind of work on, because there's so many opportunities for me to come in here and be clinical, which I'm just not taking. Again, here, this is a chance. If I came in slightly quicker, I'd be slightly closer to the net, and then him getting that, making me play the extra ball, but eventually putting it away. You know, 30-15 now. First serve going to the backhand. Second serve, again, go with the kick. I'd like to see a bit more kick. That's something, again, just not kicking it wide enough. And there's all these little things when there's a bit of pressure, there's a bit of stiffness in the arm. You're not going to get the racket head speed to really kick that ball out to the backhand and make it difficult, which the pro players can do. And they're getting a bit impatient on the forehand down the line. Missing in the net. And again, 30 all now. Good serve down the tee. Fast racket head speed on the forehand cross. Shorter ball now. Well, how can I finish it? I go down the line. Play. Oh, that's a beautiful volley cross. But I did get a bit lucky. I needed to play that ball down the line with a bit more force on that one. I'm getting a let call on the first serve. Obviously, that is a replay in the British tennis. And winning that game there to go 4-3 in this opening set. In this second set. I think one of the main takeaways from this match so far is definitely the serve. Serve is a key factor. You know, if you have a brilliant serve, then you're going to be able to win a lot of points. The return, playing returns like that is going to just cause problems. You know, when you're playing them around the service box and you're playing them through the middle, your opponent has a lot of angle to work with and a lot of opportunity to come into the net and play shots like that, where he can put away the ball really easily on the next shot. So you need to make sure you're pushing your opponent back. The next thing I would also say is making sure that you have a clear game plan and that you're able to, like I said, play good tennis on your bad days. And so that a game plan will obviously help with that, so you kind of know what you're doing and you're not just hitting the ball to hit the ball. And again, they're looking to come into the net. Being aggressive, trusting in your shots and looking to come into the net. Well, those are kind of the main things I would say taking away from this match, the things that I need to work on and the things that, you know, I am working on and that I have worked on in my week in Moratoglu, where I was training there. And I think these are definitely things that, you know, if I can improve, it can massively change my game and, you know, change it for the better. And, you know, hopefully I can have chances in the future to play against quality opponents like Luke Johnson, that I played, that are kind of 600 ATP and the ATP ranks, which can really show you your level, you know, in a brutal way. And but it's also good to play players, you know, maybe like this opponent, who are maybe not quite at the ATP level, who still, you know, challenge you. So that you still need to find a way to beat these players, you know. And of course, I'm losing to this player, so I you know, he's definitely giving me a good match and a good challenge. But I do feel, looking back at this match, that I did have, you know, this wasn't the best performance, and I am struggling to kind of get the performance, or get my performance level up. You know, it's kind of stay consistently at one level. I just need to kick myself into a different gear if I want to, you know, come back in this match. Looking at it from a third person perspective, you know. Again now, Juice. 4-3. If I can get the break here, it's all evens at 4-all, and then I'm back on serve. I go for a wild forehand down the line. That checkout is that mentality. Like I said, you need to stay mentally strong in these moments and make sure you're going to outlast your opponent. And I just went for the winner. And, you know, that's not a smart thing to do. And again here now, trying to make him play. He goes a good depth back forehand to my backhand, and I did a good job of neutralising. And he puts that ball wide, giving myself another chance at 4-all here, at 4-3 to get to 4-all here. Now on the return, again, I don't want to see a check out here. Again, putting the return too short, but I've managed to get a drop shot. I go drop shot back, but that's really bad quality. And that's, like I said, just not the clinical finishing factor that I just didn't have it on this in this match. You know, that I usually would perhaps, and that's just, you know, a perfect example of that right there. Here we go. I still have a chance here, but putting that backhand bang in the corner, approaching with the 4. Oh no, I didn't come into the net there. Left myself slightly stranded, and missing that backhand long, not trusting in myself enough. And there, I should have come into the net. I should have taken that opportunity to approach and be aggressive. Oh no, I think the umpire called that ball in. He called it out, but it was called in. And I given a second a lifeline here. You know, you can see by my commentary, you know, I thought I'd lost it, but I didn't. And this is kind of exactly what happens in a match. One moment you think you know you've lost the game, but the next you're back in it and you have to mentally refocus. Kind of exactly what I'm doing now with the commentary. Kind of caught me off guard. Anyway, now advantage to Doe, and he's now on the forehand slice, giving me a short ball. Like to see myself ghost in there onto his backhand side, and I get a let cord in his favour. He approaches the net and plays a lovely volley. I try and lob him. He goes through the middle. and I just put that ball wide. That is unfortunate. I had chances in that point, but he managed to figure out a way of just scraping through in that rally. And it's now 5-3 to him, and I'm a break down. And I need to find a way now of getting it to 5-4 and then trying to find a break if I want to stay in this match. I'm start 40 love down. And this is something I wanted to show because I was playing 3 bad points at the beginning of the 5-3 game. But we will see exactly what happens. And it's never too late to give up here. I come to the net, trying to be aggressive, and he's getting slightly nervous now. And it's 40-30. And this is a good representation of mental strength in tennis, that the game is never really over. I remember clearly Djokovic against Federer, when Federer had 2 match points in the Wimbledon final. 40-15, it seems like, it's a great opportunity to win the game, or 40-30 or whatever. But every single point is so crucial, and 3 points is all it takes to come back into the game. And here, he misses another volley, so getting slightly nervous. And now it's back to juice. And all it takes is now 2 points, and I'm back in this match. I'm back in with a chance of getting back into this match. And the approach with the backhand down the line, and he misses the ball wide. Now I've won 4 straight points in a row now to go advantage up on serve. I go big serve down the tee, again deciding to come into the net and be aggressive, which is 100% the right play. He plays it down to my feet, I managed to make the volley, and he plays a great angle there. That is a good composure, and it's what you'd expect after having lost 4 points. He's going to have to win one eventually. So I go big serve, or serve out wide, get a let cord. Again, now I'm slightly nervous, I get 2 net cords in a row. First serve again, go to his backhand slice, he chips it, good depth. I go forehand down the line, probably not the best decision right there. I play a very, very short ball, he plays with a drop shot. Slow reactions from me, and that cost me dearly. You can see maybe a bit of fatigue in the legs there as I ran for that drop shot. Just not quick enough up to the ball. And now he has a match point on my second serve. His 4th or 5th, I believe, of the match so far. And he does end up converting off a mistake from me. So I think overall, that was probably not the best match from me, but I think it has a lot of takeaway points for me to learn. And if you did enjoy watching the video, or you have any comments about the video, let me know and leave a comment down below. And I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.